Ba 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 ba.
Empty stomach growling, nothing down the hatch. I am so hungry, that's a fact. I drove a long way, food on my mind. If I don't eat, I'll act unkind. From White Plains, I bring you love. From White Plains, I bring you love. Joey Starr here for Star Quality Kitchen in another one of my New York head resident pizza videos. I'm standing across the street from Broadway Pizzeria of White Plains, which is located on North Broadway in, you guessed it, White Plains, New York. Broadway Pizzeria was established in 1972 by Italian immigrant Mike Fiorentino, who not only built a successful pizzeria from the ground up, but maintained his job at IBM the entire time. For over the last 50 plus years, Broadway Pizza has earned a reputation for delicious food and for treating their customers like family. Well then, I'm really hungry, so I intend on going in to have a nice family lunch. In addition to the fact that I am so damn hungry, I haven't eaten anything all morning, saving my appetite for this specific visit. In addition to that, everything I saw up there, up in the glass, sounded good. And then I was talking to the guy behind the counter who was really nice, asking about specialty slices, and he made everything sound good. I had to stop him after a couple of things because I wanted a bit of everything. I decided to pick up 3 slices. I'll show you what they are real quick before I get started. Got the plain cheese. I got this marinara and oil square, and I got the Gina, which looks amazing. And at this distance, smells amazing. Actually, let me mention that although the turnaround time from when I ordered the slices until they were put in my hand was very quick, all these slices are emanating heat. They actually heated them up nicely. Unlike some other places, not to mention the names I've gone to, where they turned it around that same amount of time and it was cold. Now, you're gonna get hot slices here from what I've seen. Start with the benchmark, of course. Cheese slice, okay. Nice cheese pattern. Let's check out the char in the back here. Okay, decent char, not overly done by any means. Floppy in the front, crunchy in the back. Get a little, go ahead and give it the New York fold. Let's go ahead and get that first slice here. Right off the bat, nice crunch into what is normally the softer part of pizza. Not crunchy in the way like as if it was overly heated up. No, not like that, but it's just substantial, good crunch. Make you feel like you're biting into something real, which I am. Immediately tasted the smooth, creamy, yet savory flavor of the mousse that's on there, followed by that perfect amount of tanginess from the tomato sauce that's underneath. One bite, I got that much of a sensory explosion going on a plain slice. I think that's very telling. In my travels, I've been finding that you can already tell a lot based on the way they make their plain slice. But because this cheese slice is already so good, I'm so looking forward to eating the rest of this. I want to get some of the crust here. I'm curious about the crust. It's a little bit noisy in this dining room, so I don't know how well you're gonna pick up my crunching when I bite into these things. It's not like major crunch, like you bite into it and it sounds like an earthquake. It's not that kind of crunch, but it's definitely not soggy. The flavor of the crust itself, not dry. If you're not a crust eater, I think you'd be all right. Good gnawing on this this crust here because it's actually rather flavorful. And again, it's not dry at all, so it's actually enjoyable to chew it. I'm gonna get another bite of this before I move on to the next slice. I'm actually a bit hard pressed to try to find something negative about this slice. Closest thing I can come to, and it's not a requirement for everybody, is I'm not getting that ooey gooey cheese effect. It's just the cheese is there. It is melted. It's hot, but it's not that stretch out cheese, and that's okay. I mean, more to make up for that in the flavor. And I'm talking about it so much now that I can't move on to the other slices before taking another bite here. That's definitely packed with flavor. So next we're going to move on to the marinara and oil square, as the guy put it. I don't think they have an official name. That's just basically he just called it. He just described it and said, "Yeah, that's what it is." I think I kind of put the poor guy on the spot, asked him for the name of the stuff, but it wasn't like he was on camera. But it's all right. It's all good. First of all, the aroma. You can smell the garlic in there. Garlic smells beautiful. You can tell that there's olive oil in there, and it's not an overly pronounced aroma, which is good, which means they didn't overdo it with the oil. And the marinara, I mean, if you look here, chock full of chunks of tomato, not just sauce, but actual chunks of tomato in there. So you know that's, first of all, this is probably made very fresh. They look so inviting. And I just want to point out, too, the lovely char that we have going on here in the cheese and in the crust on the back. I really like that on a square slice like this, because you know the crust, of course, is a little bit thicker than it is on the regular plain cheese slice. But based on what I'm seeing here, I mean, we're probably looking at a massive crunch. Let me see if I can get a little. Let's go ahead and take a bite. Not 2 milliseconds into that bite, and I can already understand why this is so popular. My goodness, what a flavor explosion. A real-time tanginess from the tomato that I bit into with a touch of sweet. So the oil and the garlic really complement each other well. It gives you this taste that I can only really describe as something that's purely Italian or purely Mediterranean. I almost swear I taste a bit of parm cheese added, and it does a great job of maybe raising that savoriness just a little bit, but not to a point where you're just like, my gosh, it's salty. It's not like that at all. In the crunch, even in the center of this thing, where you have this beautiful char that I pointed out, it may not be audible to my mic here, but it's audible in my sinus cavities. When I bite through, that vibration and crunch just kind of resonates into my skull. If you're a singer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and get a bite from this end because I want to check out this crust here. I mean, it's very, I got to show you this again. That is a gorgeous crust bubble here. Let's get into that crust, baby. So I want to describe this crust to you, describe and show, because I've been into the area where the bubble was, and very much like this cross section suggests, the outer part of the bubble has this nice crispiness to it, but when you press down, there's a nice, airy, soft texture to it. So when you bite in, you get that going, but you also get this nice little puff of air and tenderness, and it makes it really easy to just take into your mouth, chew it, and it practically melts. This is so darn tasty. My gosh, I gotta get another bite in before we move on to the third. Beautiful blend of that chunk of tomato, a bit of marinara, that parm cheese, that mutz cheese, that olive oil, that garlic comes together, it just melts in your mouth. Like as you're tasting it, the inside of your mouth is salivating because it's just so good and juicy and flavorful. Let's move on to the Gia. Let me show you this masterpiece again. Now look at that, this thing. So basically it's a lot of fresh ingredients across the top here. You got sliced tomato, you got grilled chicken. Looks like there's scallion, and there's red onion. This is more of a white slice with a lot of toppings of it. The aroma coming off of this thing because of the fresh ingredients, it's just driving me mad. And full disclosure, before I even started rolling, I grabbed a loose piece of this grilled chicken just for a quick taste because I was curious. And it was flavorful, it was not dried out, juicy, it's breast meat. Obviously they know what they're doing. They didn't cook the chicken so much that the process of putting it in the pizza oven, it's gonna dry it out. So I'm very appreciative of that, and I cannot wait anymore. I gotta go ahead and grab it as well. The other thing too is that this slice, heavy with the toppings. I mean, this thing feels like a Weezer, feels like a good half pound. And I'm really not exaggerating, not by much if I am, but my goodness. And this crust here, I can feel it. Nice, crispy. It's got a nice crisp to it, but it's also tender. I mean, I'm probably grabbing the crispy spot right now, and you don't have to squeeze very hard to break it up, but it's there, it's audible. I got a feeling that crust is going to taste just as amazing as the other two slices that we just tried. Let me go ahead and I'm going to go full frontal here. There is so much going on in that bite. Nice, crisp vegetables between the tomato and the onion and the scallion. They are slightly roasted, but otherwise not like overly cooked at all. They retain a crispness to it. They retain that fresh, refreshing flavor that you would get from like maybe a fresh cut salad. Yeah, very good. Chicken, as I said before, not dry in the least bit, nice and tender. I tell you, some other places where I've had chopped grilled chicken topping, sometimes it's annoying to eat because you'll bite into it and it won't break apart because it's so solid. In this case, the chicken's nice and tender, chews really easy, and something I mean, I probably said this already a couple of times, but I'm going to state it again. I like the fact that they're not over seasoning these things. It's not over salty in the least bit. It's just full of flavor. I gotta get another slice to tell you more. It's torturous to keep talking and I take more bites. And go ahead. And by the way, this thing is so full of toppings. Number one, every time I pick it up, I'm dropping pieces. And two, when I go to give it the fold, I mean, you can't even squeeze in because it's so packed full of these ingredients. They're very generous with the amounts that they put on here. And it's a beautiful thing because all these flavors work so well. It's almost like you're having your main and your salad in the same bite. So it's very efficient, especially for us in the newer generations where we're always on the go. Hey, you know, why spend 2 hours on a meal? Let's get ourselves a slice of everything we have on it and just chow down on that baby and enjoy it. And we get all the vegetables and our meats and our cheeses and everything. Let's get another bite here. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, the way the fresh cut vegetables on here and the tenderness of the chicken and even the way that the crust tastes, it kind of reminds me of a Greek gyro, which I love gyros. This is like a pizza version of a delicious gyro, chicken gyro. You get another bite here. Intentional or not, the crust even kind of reminds me a little bit of a gyro pita because you see here, it is a hint thicker than the plain slice. It's a little more pillowy, if you will, again, without being dry. And even the flavor kind of comes across a little more like a nice made gyro pita. So, truly enjoying this slice. My instincts say to go for the front and take more of those flavors in, but we need to find out what this crust is like. Okay, let's go ahead and take a bite of that. You probably see some of this on camera, and I'm seeing everything that's happening off camera. And I can tell you, every little movement I make with this, whether I lift it to my mouth, I take a bite, or I'm pulling it down, even now, just as I did that, I keep dropping toppings onto, thankfully there's a plate down there, because it's so jam-packed, nice, loose, fresh ingredients that it's you know, you just can't handle it. I mean, unless you have a mouth like a vacuum, you can just keep dropping pieces, and that's good because when you're done with the main slice, you can go down and just eat those as well. Similar to the marinara oil garlic square, there's a nice outer crunch to the top layer of that crust, and when you get in, it's softer. And I find as I chew that, it is a bit more reminiscent of classic Italian pizza slices. Should be no surprise, right? Founder, owner of this establishment, Mike, I mean, he came from Italy. He brought those old recipes with him. He kept it authentic, kept it real, and I think that's probably a good reason why people have been coming here since 1972. I actually listened to a customer talk about asking how long they've been open here because he's been coming here his entire life. He said he was born in 75, I think he said. So since 1975, this gentleman's been coming here, and he's getting that consistent, delicious quality, and he's complimenting them. When you're ready, if you're in the White Plains area, you need to come here and try. You need to try this slice first of all. You need to try the Gina. You need to try anything you can. Whatever fits your fancy. I got a really good feeling that this quality is consistent among all of them. I gotta take another bite, go crazy. So that's my review of Broadway Pizzeria of White Plains. Tried the plain cheese slice, tried the marinade garlic oil square, and I tried the Gina in that order, and each slice was even better than the previous. So, I mean, all three are basically among my favorites anywhere. But the Gina slice in particular, I mean, this thing chock full of delicious protein and vegetables and nice soft breading. I mean, it's like a complete meal. Like, if you eat two of these, you're gonna be stuffed. And by the way, and I know I'm a broken record saying this whenever I eat at a good place, but I took one sip from my soda. And everything here is juicy and delicious. And I've been kind of talking to you and listening to customers interact with the staff here, and the reputation is definitely well earned. They're very friendly here. They're very nice. It's a family warmth here. So yes, it does feel like you're eating with family. Thanks so much for watching Star Quality Kitchen. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and star. Laters. Who knew on this random Saturday where I'm going to eat what's essentially called junk food, that I get so much nutrition, delicious nutrition. I tell you, eating your vegetables has never been so good. Quick sidebar, they noticed I was filming here, and they came by and gave me a complimentary square of the Borelli to try out. It looks damn good. I mean, look at that. Look at that sea of like tomato sauce, and what is that? Some nice greens here, and you got some nice, looks like some ricotta cheese, and the style is very much like a Sicilian slice, and thick crust here, a little bit of crunch. This is obviously very fresh. It's warm, it's soft, it just has this amazing aroma like something that just came out of the oven, which you probably did. Let me go ahead and take a bite of that, see what this is like. Oh, let's check out the char at the bottom actually. Yeah, oh, that's a nice char pattern. I like that. Definitely like that. You just go for it. You get a straight bite in. That's good. So I'm going to go ahead and describe that as having a bit more of a classic Italian style flavor, particularly that kind of cheese, less salty, and if I properly describe it, it's not that bright, creamy, like mozzarella kind of flavor. It's a bit more rustic. Crust is nice and pillowy, a bit more moist on the top than on the bottom, but it's not dry on the bottom. It's just different. I don't know if we get a good cross section here. You see what I'm talking about, the moist part at the top here? You go ahead. I want to get a bite more in this area because I want to get where this splash of sauce is. Also of note is this is a bit more traditional in the fact that the cheese is on the crust and the sauce is on the top. Something you normally see with classic slices, margarita. Yeah, it's like that. I want to get another bite here because I really didn't get any green in my bite there, so I'm going to go ahead and get some of that. A little bit of a cheese pull, but again, it's not really that kind of cheese. Very flavorful, rustic, tangy. A bit creamy though, like everything else I've tried here. Packed with flavor. Kind of tastes like it's cooked with love. I mean, if you want to be perfectly honest, kind of consistent with that whole treat you like family thing. He came by. I mean, it's like I was his brother, right? He came by and said, "Hey, I see you're working hard there. Let me give you another slice." I mean, that's very nice. I appreciate that. Appreciate Broadway Pizzeria for that, for the hospitality. Let's go ahead and get into this back crust here because that's always an important factor for me. Let's take a look at that there. See the char that's on there. Go ahead and take a bite. So the crunch, similar to that marinara garlic oil square. Very similar in that the crunch is really on kind of on the outside, thin layer of crunchiness. Inside is pillowy and soft, not dry at all. Totally flavorful, moist. I feel fortunate that they're giving me this opportunity to try yet another one of their flavors. I think it's also important to point out that these specialty slices, it's not the typical stuff you see at every pizzeria that exists in New York. No, a lot of those places don't have specialty slices like this, at least not the styles I'm seeing here that I've had today. So it's something unique. And what I particularly like about this square is that because the marinara is kind of thrown on and splashed in places and the greens in certain places, you kind of get something different with every bite. There's a different ratio and combination to the cheese, to the tomato, to the green stuff. Besides the fact that it gives it a bit of different flavor each time, it makes it more interesting, right? Every bite is a new taste. So appreciate that. Really digging the pillowiness of this crust, even more so than the others. That's my view on the free square that they gave me. Delicious, worth trying. At the very least, come here for the service. They're obviously very friendly. So thanks again, guys.
From White Plains, and I bring you love. From White Plains, I bring you love.